Hello everybody and welcome back to another episode of the Crafty Poppet Crochet Podcast. My name is Asa Marie and I can be found online at Instagram, as The Crafty Poppet. I can be found on Facebook as The Crafty Poppet, and that's it. I am still getting my act together regarding starting a Facebook or Ravelry group for this podcast, and I am still trying to get my blog back up and running, or trying to find the time to do that. So I'm just on Instagram and Facebook really, and here on YouTube where you can watch my podcast. This podcast is, as the name might suggest, all about crochet. If you are brand new, thank you for subscribing. I have been noticing a lot of new subscribers, so that's really awesome. It makes me so happy every time I see a brand new subscriber. So thank you very much for clicking that button. It really means a lot. And if you are a returning viewer, thank you very much for sticking with me and coming back each time I publish an episode. It really means a lot. I have had a little bit of a break. I don't think I've podcasted for about 6 weeks, and normally I podcast, it might even be more than that, it might be more like 7 weeks or something like that. I really don't know. And it was just no like big reason, just to have some me time, to refocus, be mindful about, do some mindful crafting and really just focusing on the make, and I was really feeling the need for that. So now that I've done that, I feel a bit more, I don't know, just a bit more centered and a bit more collected, dare I say it. And so here I am again. I'm back doing another podcast. I can't believe this is episode 9 already. I have got a few things to share with you today. I have been crafting, and my first finished object is actually my first sewn project. I couldn't be happier with this project. I can't believe that this is my first sewing project. I'm over the moon, actually. It was a birthday present for my husband back on the 28th of March, and I was plugging away at it and I learnt a lot. I gained so much confidence from this bag. It is the roll top backpack tutorial from Adam Atkins here on YouTube. I'll see if I can put a card, one of those cards that drop down. And I love his tutorial. He's got a really easygoing way about him. His delivery is quite clear, and the great thing about YouTube is you can listen to a bit and then pause, and you go and do it yourself. And then you can unpause it and listen to a little bit more, and then press pause again, and then you go away and do the next bit. So I really love how simple this was. So without further ado, this is my roll top backpack. Well, it's not mine, but I made it, so you know, it'll always sort of be mine. So I just used some canvas for the bottom. The pattern is an upcycling pattern, and you just use an old pair of chinos. I'm really sorry, I seem to be saying a lot. I think it's because I haven't been podcasting. I'm not used to it. So I yes, so the pattern or recipe, if you like, is to use, no, that's not the word I want. The tutorial instructs you to use an old pair of chinos, and you cut off the legs and cut up the inside seam and lay them out flat, and then you interface them and you join them together. Instead of doing exactly that, I decided to cut my legs too short and then sew on a little bit of canvas for the bottom. I have used white, it's cream, and it's got a light green. It's just, I don't know what that mark is. And so I thought that looked quite nice with the top stitching there. So I don't mind using cream for bag bottoms for my husband, because I know that he won't put it on a dirty floor or anything like that. He's quite clean. Me, I wouldn't trust myself. I would put it on the floor and forget. So then so this is the outside leg seam, which you keep, and then you use a little bit of material and either make your own tab, which I did, and attach a pop stud, or he uses old shirt cuffs, and so you pop that bit in there. It's fully lined. I've got a little nick there, but you know, that's the way it goes. It's my first sewing pattern, and I was just pleased to get the top stitching mostly, and I got another little nick there, but I got the top stitching mostly in a straight line. I think in the future that will probably bother me more, but for this bag being my first ever sewing project, I think that's a pretty good go. And I just used some calico for the lining. So you just cut out your pieces to the measurements specified, and then you pinch out the corners and box the bottoms, and you do that both for the lining, and it's a drop-in lining, and then you just fold over the tops and you sew on this side going round. So it's so this is the top stitching essentially, because that's the under side when you're sewing that. Yeah. You sandwich your straps. They did not have proper backpack strapping in the colour I wanted it at my local craft store, but for such a light bag I thought that cotton webbing would not be too bad. I pinch together the top so that when you hang it on a hook, it doesn't sort of scrunch up and go weird. And then you just do that with top stitching. That's another bit of top stitching there. And yeah, so the bag's like that long. Oh, whoa. But you roll that bit up. So that's, if you look at it upside down, you can sort of see the shape of the leg. That's like the bottom of the leg of the pants, and that goes up towards the top of the leg, a bit below the pockets. And so attaching the pop stud was good fun. That was, you know, learning how to do that just from the back of a packet with ridiculously vague instructions. And using this hammer and missing and all sorts. I don't know if I really like this company. I use for the pop studs, because it's not a very neat finish on the inside. You can see the splayed metal It's not going to do any harm, and I think you can see it in there a little bit as well. I mean, it's definitely attached, so it's doing its job, so I guess it doesn't really matter. But when you're making something yourself, you kind of want it to look a bit professional, don't you? You want it, you know, you're putting the time in. It'd be nice if there was a feature within the way that that gets attached that covered up the splayed metal, or just a different way of attaching it. So that is the roll top backpack. I don't know if you'll be able to see if I put it on what it actually looks like when it's on. I don't know if my hair's in the way or if you can really see this. There's nothing in there, so it's probably an odd shape. Yeah, I think that's really cool. And so you can see here how you just catch up the webbing in between the lining, the outsides of the bag. And this is the bit as well where you can see I'm actually quite pleased with so while I did not get the heights of my two pieces at the bottom to match my box bottoms, very almost lines up. And on my little, I've just got a Singer Start machine. It's like your very first sewing machine ever. On my little sewing machine, canvas, yeah, canvas seems like a lot for it. It's it started to sound a bit chuggy when the needle was going down. It wasn't that fine sounding electric motor whirring with the da-da-da-da-da. It was more like a chug 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 chug. So, and I was using the right needle and everything like that, but it just sounded like a bit of work for it. So, but I'm really happy with that. Super, super, super happy with it. I'm a bit jealous actually. I definitely wanted to keep it. So I'll definitely put that card in so that you all can go and do it. He's got some other excellent backpacks and bags on his channel. His name is Adam Atkins, so I recommend him. I'm just going to have a sip of my tea. It's a really good tea. This is Pucker is the name of the brand. Cover up my face and it should focus. Wild apple and cinnamon with ginger. It's beautiful tea. I was raving about it to my mum, and now I'm going to send her a box. So I've got some flashcards down here to remind me of what to talk about. So I have talked about that one, that one, that one, and that one. And next, my next finished project is my own design. I'm really excited about this. This glorious thing is the brambleberry scarf. And again, I couldn't be happier with it. I absolutely love it. I made it out of Moda Bira Shiver. Shimmer or Shiver? No, I think it was Shiver. You can get it in a good couple of colourways, and it is, even though I buy most of my yarn from the op shop, because we have very good op shops around here and a community where lots of people donate stuff, that's reliable. But I did check, and I'm happy to say you can still get it. It is not discontinued. So what I was thinking, look at these bubbles. I'm so distracted by these bubbles. And it's like a really relaxed sort of bubble. Some of them go flat and some of them stick up. I love this stitch. It's not blocked. I didn't block it because, you know, it's acrylic yarn, and also look at the size of it. How much bigger do you want a scarf to be? And especially in Australia. And you know, if you want to make it, because I will release the pattern, if you want to make it and you want to block it, then that's cool. So I really love this. I'm so happy with it. It was such a therapeutic make. I made this right when I was realising that I maybe needed to take some time out. I was doing a lot of gifts. I was making, just making everything that I was making seemed to be for other people, and I just needed to spend some time on myself. And actually one of my things on my 2020 list is to make 10 things for me this year. And that sounds wonderful. So I'm really happy with this. I'm so happy with this. And so I thought, what would be a good idea? I don't know how long it will take me to get it all together, but I thought what would be a good idea is if you would like to be a tester for this pattern, please just pop your name in the comments box below, your Ravelry name that is, and I'll contact you on Ravelry. I'll just make a little list of testers for the future, and when I'm ready I will contact you. So as I said, I'm not entirely sure how long that's going to be because I haven't even set up a Ravelry group yet for this podcast, but I think that doing something like this will spur me on to do those things as well. And I do really want to do them as well, because I would love to. I'd love to see more of what you guys are all making, and I think that Ravelry and Facebook are really good ways to do that. So that's a bit of fun. I used a vintage pattern and decided what yarn I wanted. I sort of had an image in my head of a chunky scarf. I wanted something chunky but not oversized, ridiculous oversized, because I've got to be mindful about the weather here. It's very up and down at the moment. Autumn here in this part of Australia equals the most up and down weather ever. It's really quite annoying. It's only about 20 degrees, 22, 23 degrees maybe, but you know, it's about 97% humidity. So what is great about that weather though is that it's skirts and tights weather, and that it is light scarf weather, and that it is pinafore weather. Ooh, and ankle boots weather. You can wear ankle boots on some of the colder days. It's a bit too humid still for jeans. I've been trying to wear jeans on and off for the last 2 weeks. Can't do it yet. It's just too humid. Every time it rains, it's really cool when it rains, when it rains, and then as soon as it stopped raining, super humid, and you just want to take all of your layers off. So layers, that's the key at the moment. But this scarf will be a really nice thing to wear when it's a bit more wintry. So it's actually coming up a little bit grey on my camera right here, but I'm hoping that it will, it's actually mauve. It's actually quite a mauvey sort of, it's like a dusky purple. And so I'm really hoping that that will come out on the TV screen later on. But I just love it. I'm really happy with it. And it's mine. All mine. I do have to take it off now because it is giant and tassels. Tassels. And so I used 6 balls, 6 50-gram balls of Moda Vera Shiver. And I believe I used an 8mm crochet hook for that. So if that sounds like something that is up your street, do get in contact with me. I will pop that over there and have another sip of tea. Have you got favourite teas? I want to know what they are. This is just a Woolworths mug. Just the supermarket, but I really like it. It's really folksy and quaint. Yum. So I spoke about the scarf and asked for testers. That's that thing. And so next, I suppose, works in progress. So a little while ago I started, let's show you the picture first. I found that pattern. Isn't that cool? But I don't need a basket because I'll just fill it with rubbish. I don't need a bag either, but that's what I decided to make. I'm just gonna pop a handle on it and have a nice shoulder bag. And I've got this awesome yarn. This pattern is made by using 4 strands of 8-ply or DK weight yarn together. Now, am I lying? Oh well, see, they say on here they use Cascade Yarns Ecological Wool in shade, whatever it is, and a 10mm hook. So that's maybe a little bit thicker. I'm not sure, but I knew that I like that, but I can see the holes and that vexes me. So I decided to use an 8mm hook and to have a start. I finished my brambleberry scarf and didn't know what to do with myself. I know I've got a lot of works in progress that I could have gone back to. However, I didn't have anything that was just mindless, and so I really wanted something that I could just not think about. And so I started this, and while you do, because you're using 4 strands, you do have to sort of watch where you're putting your hook to make sure you don't catch or miss any loops that you're not supposed to. If that makes sense. I'm not sure if I'm making sense. Yeah. So, but I think that's making a nice fabric, a nice structure to the bag, and it's not, you know, it's not so thick that you can't move it. But it's not so flimsy that it's not going to give the shape that you want. I have 4 on the go at the moment, and then I have 2 more balls of this. So I'm hoping that I have enough. I'm really hoping that I have enough. It's a bit of a yarn chicken thing, because I think I've still got 16 rounds to work, and the balls are all at that size. So I'm not sure. I might get to a certain point and just decide it's not going to happen, and in which case what I will do is just do a smaller shoulder bag with 3 strands and obviously a smaller hook. So that's that. I have been enjoying that, and I was enjoying that very, very much. And then, oh, and that's been living in this wonderful bag that my husband bought for me for my birthday, and it's got doilies on it, and it says I love crochet, and it's giant. It's a fantastic market bag. I've taken it to the market already, and it's the perfect market bag, and I can fit a handbag in here as well as all my market purchases. So that is my owl bag. Oh, I started telling you about my crochet hook. So I started that, I got to that point, and then I was using an 8mm plastic crochet hook which broke. And it was Easter, and so nothing was open and I had to wait. So that left me twiddling my thumbs once again, and I ended up casting on another project because I really just still I needed that mindless crochet fix. And for now, because I need to dig out a project bag, because this project just flies off the hook, and I love this project. I love it so much. This is the Emergence of Spring crochet wrap by Rosina from Zines and Roger. I love it. I love it. I love it. I've done it before in purple cotton, which I did for my nan. I love it in this green. I love this shade of green. I believe this shade of green is known as Hunter's Green. I believe John Hunter was a botanist and he mixed his own pigment. Probably to paint leaves, I'm guessing. I think that's what he was. So, I mean, botanists back in the day were also pretty good artists, weren't they? Because they had to be able to draw everything. And I think they look like little trees. They don't look like diamonds in this green. To me, they look like little trees, which I love. I love so much. So, for this project, I am using... Did I bring the ball band? Oh my goodness me. Okay, I'll go and get that in a moment when I go and get the magazine for my project fail. But it is heirloom baby wool. I think it's just called heirloom baby wool. It is a 4-ply. It's baby merino, and it's so soft, and apparently has a lot of fluff on it, which is now stuck to my tights. It's really, really soft. I have come to realise that I am a bit like the Princess and the Pea when it comes to yarns that I can have touching my neck. I really can only have baby wool or acrylic. Well, I'm sure other man-made yarns, but I really can't have wool. I definitely can't have alpaca. I love this project. I love this project so much. I'm really enjoying it. And so I wanted to lengthen it because I remembered from having made my nan's purple cotton version, which I feel like that must have appeared in episode 6 or 7. I'll put another card up where that is shown. That cotton was a fair bit chunkier than this yarn, and I thought, you know, it's a good length for a wrap, but I think that I will lengthen it if I want to make it into a scarf. And it's a multiple of 10 plus 2 more stitches for your foundation chain. So it's pretty easy to lengthen or shorten it. So, and she gives the chart so you can see what the multiple would be very easily. As I said, it's a multiple of 10 plus 2 for your foundation chain. So I did 260 plus 2 more stitches. 2 more chains, I mean. So the pattern calls for 200 chains and then 2 more chains for your foundation chain. So I lengthened it a fair bit, but now I think that's going to come out quite well, because then it also has an edging on both ends. And I wanted it to be something that would be wide enough to wrap around my shoulders if I have to sit in an aircon breeze at work, because even though the weather's cooling down and the aircons are still on, it befuddles me. But that's the way it is. But I don't really wear wraps, so I thought it would be a good idea to make it into more of a scarf, because then I will get more use out of it. And I love a scarf. I do love a scarf. So I think I will get a lot of wear out of it, and it's going to be for me. I love it. I love it so much. And thank you so much, Rosina, for making such a beautiful pattern. I don't think I've made 2 of any of the same pattern yet. I'm not sure I have. I think I've thought about it, but actually done it, I think this is the first time. So I'm really happy with that. I'm using a 4mm hook. And as I say, I'll go and grab that ball band in a moment when I get that magazine for you. The other work in progress that I have sort of been working on has been what was going to be my entry into the granny along, whatever it was called. Rosina was holding it actually. The granny cow. It was the granny cow. But I was too slow. I made all of these wonderful grannies. And I made these. Did I use a 4mm hook with these? Or maybe a 4.5, because it's slightly thicker than DK weight. And so this yarn I just grabbed from the op shop. It was a pack of yarns from like a weekly like a weekly magazine that comes with yarns to make a certain thing. And so they all had their Art of Crochet labels still on them. So evidently somebody just didn't use it and donated it. And now I've made it all into granny squares, which I love. And so there's all sorts of variations. I've got that pile, I've got that pile. But wait, there's more. And that pile, and that is how many tails I have tucked in. I have actually come to realise that I don't mind tucking in tails. It's quite nice. I might actually do some more today. But I've got to say, it takes a really long time when you've got different coloured, when you've got a different colour each round, it takes a really long time to tuck them all in sufficiently. Quite like that one. That's a pretty one as well, isn't it? Stand up. And I think they're all going to look really nice together. So I'm just going to do a handbag. I thought I'd just do a handbag. I'd like to learn some sort of rope creating stitch for the handles. I thought that'd be quite fun. And I'm going to do a join as you go method that is on the Earl Grey Crochet channel. I forget what she calls it, but it is join as you go, granny squares. And so if you have them sort of all joined, laid out like that, you sort of go down this side and then along the bottom here, and then in between them at that edge. So you're going like the top of a castle, along and up and then down and then along and then up and then along and then down, if that makes sense. But go and see that. Oh, I'll drop in a card. I'll drop in another card. Hopefully I can figure out how to do that. If not, I'll just pop links down below in the description box. And I'm actually really looking forward to learning how to do that. Well, I've already learned how to do it. I'm looking forward to doing it. And I've never really looked forward to a join before. But it looks like a really good one. I'm just going to join these in a light brown. So it's quite neutral and all of the colours pop out. And I thought that'd look quite autumnal. Which will be nice because not much looks autumnal around here. We live in quite a green area because it's the northern rivers and all of the trees are evergreen, so it doesn't really look autumnal at all, apart from one or two maple trees which still haven't gone brown or orange or yellow. That is it for my works in progress. So that's the ball band for the yarn, heirloom, 4-ply, baby wool. It's a lovely green, isn't it? And that's exact. That is coming up absolutely exactly on camera. I do know that it is discontinued in this colourway. They do, however, have other colourways still available. So that's that. This, before I talk to you about my slightly failed project, is the Emergence of Spring wrap, if you have not seen it. And so that's the edging that gets added onto the bottom. Isn't it beautiful? Is there another picture? This was the one that was in the magazine because Rosina does commissions for magazines. But so you can see that it's a bit, a little bit short-ish. I like quite a, it's not that short. I like quite a long scarf. I think that's what it is. I don't think it is actually short. I think I just like a long scarf. It's so beautiful. And the thing is as well, my first go at that pattern was actually with cotton, so it didn't stretch as much as yarn would have, probably. So that is what is happening. That one's done. I did try and have a go at this. I bought this magazine at a market. That is a wonderful jumper. There's also a fantastic looking shawl on the back. You can see it's made up of squares and then all joined together in between, and then it's got a flower edge and it's loop. So I guess it's on their website. I'm going to have to look that up. But I tried this but I didn't have enough yarn. And the yarn I did use didn't have a ball band. I just got it from, it's gorgeous. It's got like a little pearlescent thing going through it, and that's beautiful, but I didn't have enough. It's really wide in the pattern for me, and this isn't following the pattern, but in the pattern for me there would have been 27 inches positive ease. So I thought, well, I could almost fit 2 of me in that jumper, so I think I'm going to cut down a bit on the amount of yarn I'm going to use, and this would just have 10 inches of positive ease, and as you can see it's still quite a bit bigger than me, but I just didn't have enough of that. I don't think that's enough for a whole extra side, and this is not itchy to the hands, but as soon as I put it on me, it's so itchy that I think it's got alpaca content. So that's going to go down there, away from everything else, and hopefully that doesn't make me sneeze for the rest of the day. I think I might have a small alpaca allergy, so that was a bit of a fail. And so that happened, and then I tried to do it with the orange yarn that I'm now doing the owl bag with, and it just wasn't happening because the acrylic wasn't drapey enough, it wasn't giving enough, and I mean neither was the cream one, but I thought upon washing and blocking it probably would, but there just wasn't enough of it. So then the orange one didn't work, and then I just was like, oh my goodness me, this is turning into a slump. But then I picked it up, I started doing the owl bag, and that's been really nice. And I can pick it up again now that I have a new 8mm hook. I went out as soon as the shops opened again, and I got myself a new 8mm hook to replace the broken one, and I can get along with things. So I'm really happy with that. I'll just have some water. Excuse me. Alright, so that one is done. You have seen my Frank and Olive jumper fail. Because that lovely jumper, where'd the mag go? The magazine has, oh, it's right in front of my face. It's done by, I think her name's Ruby, from Frank and Olive. Yes, she's got quite a large crochet following, I understand. So really, that is all I'm going to show you in terms of crochet. I do have some sort of maker plans, things I'm thinking about, things that are on my radar. My next makes, I think I'm going to be showing you things that I'm planning as well as things that I've acquired sort of all together at the same time. I'll just show you this one first, and then it can sort of get out of the way. I have planned to do another roll top backpack, and this one is going to be for myself, and I have got the materials. So this is the same dark material that my husband's one was done in, on the top of his bag, on that part. But I thought I've got enough to use for the bottom, and then I've got this sort of nice neutral brown, sort of a taupey brown colour, and I'm going to pinch that pop stud, because it's a nice looking pop stud, from this old pair of, what do you call them, cargo pants, and that's going to be my clip. So I thought that would look quite nice. I think that's going to look quite nice indeed. I don't know why I'm doing it from that bit to that bit, because that will be up there. That will be the bottom of the bag. That will be, you know, that'll be like an inch of the bag at the bottom, just like my husband's. And then that'll be the body of the bag, and then this will be clipping the roll of this to the body of this. So I'm fairly eager to get started on that so that I can have one of those bags as well. I think I'm going to just use exactly the same colour webbing, unless I can find something a bit stronger. It'd be good if I could find something a bit stronger for the handles, the backpack handles. I am going to show you this bag next. I've got in here a little bit of a maker plan. I've been looking at this cotton and wanting to try it. It's been at my local yarn shop, Lincraft, for a while. It's by Mondial. It says cotton soft bio, made in Italy, 100% organic cotton. And look at those glorious variegations. And I got that one as well, because I thought they really complement each other. And I am in sore need of something to protect my apple when it goes in my bag to take to work. So I thought I would make myself an apple cozy. And I have seen a pattern that I would like to do. I can't remember who it's by, but if I find it, I'll put the link down below. And you make that part of the cozy, and then you join it together with leaves. You crochet some leaves, and so I thought that would be perfect for the leaves, and that would be perfect for the cozy part of the cozy. So that's a little plan right there. Excuse me, I've got a little frog in my throat. And you know, the good thing about this tea is you leave the tea bag in and it just gets stronger and stronger and more flavoursome. It's really delicious. I definitely want to start doing a little bit of craft for the house, and so I thought I would make that, which I just got off of a Molly Makes magazine for free, and I thought I'd just pop that up on the wall. I thought that would be really cute. I don't know about the pom-pom going there. Shouldn't it go on the end? It's a bit funny, isn't it? But I quite like that though. Crafting is good for the soul. And I can embroider. I can embroider and cross stitch. But I don't make time for it, and that's not fair on me, is it? Constantly ignore. Okay. So, I just got cut off by my own camera because I forgot that it times out after 45 minutes of recording. So I just went upstairs to transfer those files and clear up some space on the card, and then I thought I had turned the camera back on, but I don't think the plug was plugged in properly and it wasn't getting any power, so it had used up all of its battery as well. And so now, after a little bit of a faff, I am back. I'm not sure quite where I was up to before. I think I'd just shown you my plans for my own roll top backpack. I know I'd shown you about the apple cozy that I would like to make. I've shown you that magazine. I am wanting to make all of the things in the Making Winter book. If you do not have this, I strongly suggest you go and get it. It is by Emma Mitchell. It has got all of these fabulous things in it. Chelsea buns, forcing bulbs, crochet necklaces, what's that called? It is preserving leaves. That is a picture from part of her story about seasonal affective disorder, watercolouring, nature journals, making your own slow gin, making yummy strudel crumble cakes, silver clay jewellery and crocheted wrist warmers, and stunning photography. I strongly suggest you get that book. I want to make everything in it. That is on my radar for sure. Another book that is on my radar is a book that my mum got for me by way of voucher. She got me a voucher for my birthday, and I got this one. I got 2 other books as well, but this is the book I'm going to start with. This is Tilly and the Buttons, Love at First Stitch. It is a widely recommended beginner sewists stitching book. Why can't I think of how to make that sentence better? It's a book that is perfect for the beginner sewist. Oh my goodness me. Okay, and so I really, really, really want to make everything in here. Her instructions and tutorials are super clear. She's got lots of photographs. It's sort of set out like that. It's quite easy to use, really easy to use, and super sweet projects. Look at that scarf. Love that. And that is actually the first pattern in here is for the headscarf. I think I would quite like to make myself one of those. So that is where I am going to start. But there's dresses and skirts and pyjama bottoms and blouses. That dress is really cute, and I want all of them. One of my favourites in here is this blouse. I really love that blouse, and I've got some amazing fabric for it, which I'm actually about to show you. Look at that blouse. I love it. So I'm really looking forward to getting into that book. I have mentioned on previous podcasts that I am going to do the North Coast National, which is the name of my agricultural show that is on every year, and there is a crochet section for a competition. I did order that crochet kit it's a design by Hannah Dale, and she is an amazing artist. This shop is on Etsy, and they do all of the kits. Isn't it just so beautiful? And so that's going to be one of my entries. It'll be really nice to do some cross stitch again as well. I'm so looking forward to that. So I'm really looking forward to that. Right, make sure what's around me now. Next, I really just got some acquisitions to show you. I'll start with this one. I think because it's the most recent. I have been watching a lot of Potter and Bloom's original episodes, because I only joined in with her podcast from about episode 20 or episode 30 onwards, and so I am currently on episode 23. She's an inspiration. She really is, and I love when there's some organisational tidbits in people's podcasts as well, because I love a little bit of organisation. And she was using these books, not these exact books, but you know, A5 hardback, perfect bound with an elastic cover, fastening, and I got 2 of them, teal and peachy pink. And I thought, do you know what, that looks really good, and it was just really inspiring to see a book in use with lots of papers sticking out and markers for the pages. It's like when a home looks really nice and cozy and lived in, I love a book that looks used, and she just made it look so good for her crochet designs. And so I'm going to do pink for my podcast notes and plans, and I'm going to do teal for my crochet designs, because this colour sort of reminds me of the sea or water, rivers, that type of things, those type of things. Oh my goodness me. And I just find that association between designing and imagination and the sea to be all quite dreamy, so I find it all quite connected, so I think that's a good colour representation for that. And I'm very excited about getting those started. So that's just a little bit of a random plan, but I did get those. And then I also got these. They are 4mm bamboo knitting needles, and I thought that I might give it a go. Because I used to knit. I used to knit when I was a child. My nan taught me. So I'm thinking I should be able to pick it back up again fairly quickly. I've got a basket over here full of acrylic yarn ball ends, and I just thought I'll just do squares. I'll just start stacking up squares. Just to get back into it. And then I could just make a giant blanket, because there's easily a giant blanket in what's down there. So I thought that could be a bit of fun. Learn how to knit again. And because, as well, my husband actually said, because I made a remark on Emma's podcast, and I said, you know, the more I watch of this woman, the more I want to knit socks. She just knits the most beautiful socks. I was just watching a podcast of hers, and it had the buddleia socks in it, and they are beautiful. I just feel like I need to have knitted socks in my life. And my husband turned around and he said, well, I would like knitted socks. So that sort of makes me want to do it doubly so. So I'm going to learn to knit in order to learn how to knit socks. But I thought I'd do a few beginnery things first, like make some squares, learn how to tension my yarn, that type of thing. So that'll be fun to see how I go with that. I got some more thread for my roll top backpack. What else have I got in here? How to speak fluent sewing. And what it is, it's by Christine Haynes. It's a dictionary. And so it's got, you know, look, there's your bobbin. And then it tells you what it is. And every page is like that. So this is all about print and nap on fabrics. And it's got a picture, a diagram, an example, and it tells you what is meant by that term. So I thought that is just the ticket. And so it's in chapters, you know, that one's stitch terms. They had a sale on at Lincraft, and they had $5 books down to $3. So I thought, all right, and that one's all different types of pleats and with diagrams to show what they are. So it's a really good, quick reference book. And I thought for $3 you can't go wrong with that. This one is, this is going to be another rabbit hole. I love stamping. And I have looked at this, and this book is so cute. So incredibly cute. I mean, house-shaped envelopes. Cat gift bags. And these are the paper projects that you could, look, a matchbox wrapping kit that you can give as a gift to people. How sweet is that? I can't bend the page around. So it's got some beautiful, beautiful paper craft projects in there, and then it's also got furoshiki wrapping, and it's got so you make your stamps and you stamp your wrapping cloth. And you can actually make that whole rosette, so you stamp the lion and you make the rosette underneath it. And it's a really good quality of book as well. The paper's really nice. It's got little money envelopes, wrapping paper with cats. Can you see that? Wrapping paper with cats. Little forest gift tags with trees on. And so then that's the projects, and then, oh, look at the cake toppers with the cats in it. But so in the front it tells you all of the tools that you need, and it's quite a lot like lino cutting, except you use rubber blocks, so it's like soft block printing, and it shows you what to do. There's your block, and then it talks about positive and negative carving. Did that the wrong way around, didn't I? So positive and negative. And how to make, that could be a good thing to do. Look, it's got Kakashi thread holders, and so I think that's the name of a doll that's very popular in Japan. But that could be really good for like bobbins, for people who do corner to corner crochet. It's got lots of cute stationery ideas. This is definitely going to be a rabbit hole that I am looking forward to. How to make an accordion folder out of envelopes stuck together, and stamps that you can stamp onto them. I can't wait to get into this book. Look at that. So cute. Look at that. Look at that bear. Look at the bear. Oh my god. And she does give all of her... Look at them all in the back. They're all there. I'm really happy with that. For $3. I had also seen this book a while ago and in the library, and then there it was. Crocheted animal hands. I forgot what it was called. It's literally that. My favourite is the wolf. And so, I mean, I thought I'd get this because I've got 4 nieces and a nephew, and so I think he might like the chameleon. There's some really cute ones. There's a pony called Phoebe. There's a cockerel, and it's really funny. I'm just trying to find it. Here it is. What's his name? Domingo the cockerel. How funny is that? And the thing I really like about that pattern is if you look on that picture, the ties, the yellow ties, are actually his feet. But yeah, it's, you know, it's got lots of different animals, a fox, a pig. There's an owl on the front, and it goes in sizes as well, but I mean, you know, if you can increase and decrease, then you can size it up or down. There's a badger. Oh, there's a polar bear, which is very sweet, and, you know, it's got his paws. So I thought that would be a cute make for some little gifts. They are just bits towards projects, so nothing more in that bag. I have got my first vintage fabric haul to show you. It's not too much, just some favourite bits, because there have been quite a lot of purchases over the weeks that I haven't been podcasting for, so just a few of my favourite bits. That blouse that I was showing you in the Tilly and the Buttons book, I think that might be having to happen with this. It's beautiful, and it will be so nice and light and drapey. It may not be, I might, you know, if I get my act together, I might be able to make it and wear it soon, with a singlet underneath, perhaps in winter. But that is that one. And then I found, I don't know if this one in particular is vintage, but I really like it. It's all different animals dressed up like Native Americans, and I just think that that is adorable. And if you look at the elephant, the little toy he's holding, his little bear, has even got a feather hat on. And it's got teepees, and it's slightly fleecy. Well, you know, it's very soft, and I think I'll get some 3/4 length pyjama bottoms out of that. So I'm pretty happy about that. This is going to be more fabric for the, what is that blouse called? I feel like it might be the Mimi blouse. I think it might be called the Mimi blouse. And this is so 1940s. I love it. Oh, this is beautiful. I think those colours suit me. I found some more vintage fabric at the same stall. This was just a minefield. I loved this stall. It was the best. So it was nothing like a minefield then, because I can't imagine a minefield would be a good place to stop. It was full of fabric. And I wanted to go back the next week, but I was out of money. It's got little umbrellas on it, being blown in the wind, and they're tied with bows. Absolutely gorgeous. This is a bit of a thicker cotton, and so I thought perhaps some lightweight pants. I think I might sew myself some lightweight pants with an invisible zip at the back, so that it has darts at the front for the waist-high feature. I think that's what I would like to do. And this is really gorgeous fabric as well. There's a whole scene going on. Little coast scene, a little coastal town, which just repeats across the fabric. And I thought that would make a lovely dress. An A-line dress, I think. Just something simple. And I will have to make a lining for it, because it's quite sheer. But that's okay, I can make a lining. I'm really happy with those finds. Did I show you other fabrics? No, I didn't. They're down here. And then about 2 weeks later I went to the market again, and I found at a different stall, this fabric, which there's 3 meters of. Isn't that glorious? Look at those. Absolutely beautiful. And so I'm not sure what I want this to be. I don't know if I suit large prints for fabric. So I was thinking possibly I would like to make an oversized sort of tote bag with that. But I want to be sure because there's 3 meters of it before I go cutting into it. I think I want that gorgeous thing to be another Mimi blouse. But from a distance it just looks white. So I don't know. But it might be nice to have a sort of mostly white blouse in my wardrobe. It's so cute. And this one I absolutely love. So I have got plenty of blouse material. This is going to be a blouse for sure. I think this one really suits me. All the little colours popping. Aside from a couple of patterns here, this is about it. So I went to the op shop. What's today? If today is Thursday, because I've got the day off. It's Anzac Day here in Australia, and so it's a public holiday. Very thankful. So here I am, filming a podcast on a Thursday. I found this at the op shop yesterday, which I quite like the style of. I quite like the ruching of the sleeves up here. And then I found this. And I did notice that that one and that one, upside down, are similar, except this one I think is a bit narrower fitted through the chest, and this one does have pockets. And the sleeves are shorter on this one, but the collar is exactly the same. So, but it's nice to have a selection. So I got those. I also found this one recently, not yesterday, but recently. And so she's wearing the midi length because that's that fabric there. But I was interested in these two views A and B for the mini skirts. Very happy with that, and so that is Simplicity 1369. I also found this great pattern, which is a princess line dress with body shirt variation by a company called Knit and Stretch. Great line drawings. I would make both of those. And it's great because it's got sizes through 8 to 22. And it's got these, it's this nice strong master copy. I love these old patterns where you can see really super clearly. And it's got a really super clear size chart, which is just what you want. So that is about it from me this week. I hope that you have enjoyed episode 9 of the Crafty Puppet Crochet podcast, and I hope to see you again next time for episode 10. I will be keeping you apprised of my progress on these projects, and hopefully I will have a Ravelry and or Facebook group up and running at that point as well. I think that is definitely next on my to-do list, because as I say, I would like to start designing, and for that to happen I definitely need to be able to get into contact with people, and I really want to be able to see all of your makes. You've been subscribing and leaving comments and being so beautiful and kind to me, and I would really love to be able to share in what some of you make, in what all of you make. And so I don't know if I will do both, Facebook and Ravelry, but definitely, obviously one or the other. But if you do want to be on that list of potential testers, I would love for you to leave me your Ravelry contact details below, and then I can reach you and invite you to the group. I think that's everything. So thanks once again very, very much for watching. I hope to see you next time on episode number 10. Happy crafting! I filmed a podcast! Yay! I did it!